going on, everyone? Welcome back to Getting Technical, episode 50.
Big.
Just me and Nick today. We're going to talk all NBA teams, award predictions, and some playoff matchups. But yeah, big episode, honestly.
Big episode 50. That's a milestone, huh?
Yeah, honestly, like, I don't know. There was definitely a point last year where I did not think we would get this far. We took like a 4-month break.
But we're back.
We've been back. We've been pretty consistent.
100%.
It's the best time of the year for basketball fans.
Oh, it's glorious right now. It's so fun.
Yeah, I mean, I think probably the first thing that we should talk about is All NBA, I guess.
Yeah.
Then we can go through the awards. Yeah, I mean, let's not waste any time, honestly.
I think it's going to be frustrating that Julian isn't here because I think you and I agree on a lot of things. And I think you'll see that with this too. So I know you kind of...
Oh, I do, yeah. I mean, also just Julian, like, he genuinely just doesn't watch.
No. He just... Yeah.
Julian watches the Suns, and then outside of that...
His Twitter feed,
which... I'm not gonna lie, like, I mainly watch, like, the Knicks, every Knicks game, and then I watch, like, a lot of the national games. Yeah, I don't watch, 100%. Like, I'm not on NBA TV, I'm not usually... During the playoffs, I'll try and watch most games, but...
Oh, yeah, the playoffs are... Every playoff game's a must-see.
I know, the thing is, being on the East Coast, like... I was talking about this with Blaze last night. Like, how much easier it would be to do stuff like this if you were on the West Coast. And
yes.
The games started at, what?
4 o'clock.
4 o'clock and 7, and as opposed to us, it's like... You want to watch these late games, you're up till 12, 12:30, maybe even 1 sometimes. And
exactly. It is a hustle. It is a struggle, but I think... Listen, the West playoffs are the West playoffs. I don't think anybody watches the West playoffs besides the fans of those teams out there.
I'm a first half guy.
But there's a bunch of good series that are going to be on this. Like,
for sure, I think honestly, I think the Lakers. We'll talk about this later, but I think that's going to be a rough series for them. Yeah. But I think the first round is going to be good.
Let's get into all NBA because I do have some stuff on the first round.
Cool. I guess. Should we start with first team or should we start with third team? Should we go 1, 2, 3 or 3, 2, 1?
I think you got to work it up to down.
Okay, so we'll start with 1. Right? I was like, I thought I understood that. Yeah. So all NBA, my all NBA first team. So it's positionless this year. So I put Jokic, SGA, Luka, Brunson, and Tatum. The one name here that's not going to be common. He's not going to be first team all NBA is Brunson.
Yeah.
I gave him the spot over Giannis simply because I just think like the Bucks kind of just like collapsed. They failed.
Yeah.
Obviously, like Giannis had those nagging injuries. He's out right now. But all in all, like ever since like the whole season's been weird for them. They had a good record with it was Adrian Griffin, right?
Yeah, it was Adrian Griffin.
They switched to Doc. They're not even above 500 with him.
I saw something that said that they were 30-13 when Griffin got fired, and now. All of a sudden, they've 50-32.
Yeah, like
so they basically just.
I don't think did they win? I think they won 49 games, right? To start off 30-13, I'll pull it up. NBA standings, 49 games. So they started off 30-13, so didn't get to 50 wins.
So they went 19-30-13. So yeah, wow, they went like
19-20, right?
19-20. Is
my math right? Yeah. I mean. You got a new team you got a new core. You got Dame who comes in for Drew, and it just hasn't really worked that well. Dame has not been Dame. He's had great games. He's had bad games, but to me, that's the biggest thing. Like what Brunson did for the Knicks, like no Randall for 60% of the season.
Yes.
OG Anunoby comes in, plays great, but he misses like 20 games, and then you have Mitchell Robinson, who going into the year again, Mitch has always been one of those guys who's like the highest rated, I feel like, Knicks core guy. Like core, when I say that, I mean like when there was RJ, when there was Grimes, all those guys, those homegrown guys, and Mitch kind of was the headliner to a lot of people, in their eyes at least. Like,
sure. I mean, I was a headliner, but I would say definitely
I mean, that headliner is definitely the wrong word to use, but
he was a
lot of people thought he was a top 100 player. Like, if there was Knicks on those lists like a few years back, like he was the one who got on there on top of a lot of those guys.
Because his defensive game developed so suddenly. But regardless, like
when you're missing Randall, when you're missing OG, when you're missing Mitchell Robinson for long periods of time, even Isaiah Hartenstein, who's been amazing this year, he's been playing like on a minutes restriction because of his hamstring or his Achilles. But all these things, like Brunson found a way, and they won 50 games and they got the 2 seed. And to me, like, one thing that if you listen to all these guys, Bill Simmons, Ryan Russillo, all these guys who actually have votes, they always prioritize winning.
Yeah, they do. 100%.
And at the end of the day, to me, it was a toss-up between Brunson and Giannis, and Brunson's team ended up with the 2 seed. They ended up passing the Bucks, so I think he should be rewarded for that. I don't think he will. Yeah. But to me, that's how I view it.
See, as a Knick fan, I don't want to argue you on that. But as a traditionalist who, although you prefaced it by saying it is positionless, so that they're not going to be making you stick into the 3 guards and 2 forwards and a center, or two guards, 2 forwards and a center. Yeah. But I do think that, from my perspective, what I've always viewed the NBA, all NBA teams as, is kind of just a good, like, almost like time capsule for where the season was.
Yeah.
Because you look through history, like, you'll see, like, oh yeah, this top tier is the guys. You know what I mean? The guys who were in the league. So, like, there were parts of the decade where you would see Kobe in it. There's parts of the decade you'd see LeBron in it, and you'd see them at their peaks.
Yeah.
Yes, did the Bucks have a disappointing season? Yes. Could Giannis be possibly out on the outside looking in when it comes to, I mean, like, in the playoffs in the next couple weeks? Yes.
If he's not healthy and he's missing a few games, I think the Pacers win that series pretty. And I don't think it's like, I think they win in like 6. Maybe.
Yeah.
If no Giannis, they're gonna win in 5. But
I don't know. Yeah, sure, but like, also I'm not proven. But the Pacers haven't proved anything to me yet either. But the only edit to what your first team is I put Giannis over Brunson, and part of the reason why is I look at it as, like I said, like, Giannis is still one of the guys in the East. Like, if the Knicks get to, like, as crazy as this sounds, and the Celtics are the Celtics, but you got to get past Embiid, you got to get past Giannis, and obviously Embiid had his injuries this year, so like you can't really like put him there, and kind of like it's tough because obviously with the games restrictions too. But, like, it was definitely, like, for me, you still see Giannis as one of the bigger hurdles to jump through, which I think you have to credit that to him being who he is. So, yes, I had the same team. I had SGA, Luka, Tatum, Giannis, and then obviously Joker.
Yeah. Yeah, I think, to me, those first 4, like, you kind of can't. You can't argue Jokic. You can't argue SGA. Luka, can't really argue. The only thing, it's like either Tatum or Giannis if you're moving Brunson, and there is one of those. And Tatum,
you can't take Tatum
best
off
player
the team.
on the best team in basketball. You have to reward him.
Did you? I mentioned it to you before too, but did you see that the stats that say that there hasn't been a team as offensively, just like as well-rounded as the Celtics, and just as rated as highly, just overall, as the Celtics, that has not won the finals. So, like, if the Celtics don't win the finals this year, it's like they're the only team with the numbers and the statistics that they have that would finish the season not winning.
Yeah. I don't think they win. I think the Nuggets win still.
Which I think it's crazy. I mean, obviously, listen, like, you got to kind of see, and I think we're kind of jaded by the Celtics being so, like, underwhelming in the playoffs. But we'll go on ahead and see. What did you have for your second team, though?
My second team, so I put Giannis, Anthony Edwards, AD, Durant, and Kawhi. Giannis, to me, a no-brainer. If he's not on the first team, he's obviously on the second team.
Yeah.
Anthony Edwards just kind of really had his best season. But they finished, the 3 seed, had a great year. Mm-hmm. He did a lot of it without Kat towards the end. AD, Durant, and Kawhi, though. AD and Durant, I think I was listening to Bill Simmons, and him and Russillo were talking about how a lot of these guys played like their most minutes in years.
Yeah.
Maybe it's because of like the
AD,
play.
It was AD. I
think AD played 76 games this year,
which is nuts.
It's crazy.
And dude, like, obviously I don't, as we just spoke about, I don't stay up as much for the West Coast. The West Coast games as I would love to, but I got Defensive Player of the Year type vibes from AD when Knicks played them when they were here in the Garden. And listen, like, I think he's back, which when I go through mine, I had him on my second team too. But like it's definitely eye opening to see like how much that he played, and as much as a guy like Kawhi played as well too, just to even make these all NBA
100%. Yeah, I mean Kawhi, he ended up with only 68 because I was looking all this stuff up yesterday because I wanted to make my teams for this. But yeah, I mean him and AD and Kevin Durant, the amount of minutes those guys played. I think Kevin Durant played the most minutes he's played since 2014. Which is wild to think of. Like, have you seen the comparisons to like his stats pre and post Achilles?
No,
because his numbers have been better since he got the Achilles. Tore his Achilles.
It's been that much better.
Not like that much better, but like better, which is crazy considering he's getting older, coming off one of the toughest injuries in basketball to come back from, and he's also bouncing around teams like this. Like, it's crazy. He's like truly. Some of these guys, man, it's like they're not young.
Yeah, no, they're up there too, and like especially KD. Like KD, it's for him to get good there is like very impressive.
Yeah, and so the only thing with the second team was I had trouble initially, and then to me it was pretty easy after a while. I originally had LeBron over AD. Then I looked deeper into things.
Yeah, no, it's AD,
and I saw it was clearly AD, and I was like, I was not putting LeBron on the second team because, look. The Lakers, they're in the 7th seed now. Like, I'm not putting two guys on the second team if you're a playing team.
Yeah.
And look, the playing teams this year, even in the East, it's really their top, like, 8 teams were good.
Yeah.
The West was legit 10 teams. Like, those, I think the Warriors, the Lakers, they won, like, 46 games this year.
Yeah.
So, it's not like they were a typical like playing team where you're looking like under 500 like they had a good record. The Lakers ended the season really well, but I don't know. I didn't feel great putting Kawhi on the second team at the end, but I just did it anyway.
He that stretch of games that the Clippers had this season where they were at between the 1 and like right around the 2 seed, and were they the 1 seed at one point?
They were, I think. I think so. They were playing like incredible for like a month stretch at least.
They were playing lights out.
6 weeks maybe.
Yeah,
right?
exactly. He's the most important player to that team. And like I said, like all NBA teams are supposed to like almost be like a time capsule for where the league was.
Yeah.
And I think that like you have to leave him in that like time capsule. Is like, hey, the Clippers were this and we're taken super seriously because of this. And I think that he deserves 100% to be on the second team because of that. I mean, always you had to watch the games with him, but I don't think there's any reason why he shouldn't have been.
So what's your second team?
So the only thing, and I might catch some heat for this. So kind of what you said about LeBron and AD and not being able to put 2 players on the second team for the Lakers when they're a playing team. I feel a similar way about the Suns. And
so it's funny you said the 2 guys that I had originally had that I took off because the first team took me 5 seconds to make. I knew exactly what I wanted. Giannis and Edwards, I knew immediately. Yeah. Then like I kind of had to do some more digging. Like I was like, I wasn't because these guys are on the West Coast. We don't watch them every single.
Who did you have in there?
I had Booker too, and then I looked into it and I was looking at stuff and like thinking about it, and I was like, I can't put like. I remembered back to the beginning of the season when Booker and Beal were missing so much time, and it was kind of just KD, and he kind of kept them afloat for a while.
Yeah,
because
exactly.
Booker, I think, ended up playing like 68, 70, 71 games, but it felt like he missed more.
Yeah, it definitely did.
So, that was like another one for me. Like, I took Book off, and I put KD.
See,
I was like, only one gets the second team to me.
See, it wasn't Booker for me.
Who was it?
It was KD for me.
Yeah.
So, like, my second team, just the way I had it was Brunson, because obviously I didn't have him in my first team. Mm-hmm. I have Ant because you need to have Ant in that spot too.
Yeah, 100%.
Honestly, I'm gonna keep Kawhi in there too because Kawhi was there. So I'm at 3, right?
Yeah, you need 2 more.
Booker, because I said, I still think Booker is that guy. And it was a much easier conversation. Hit this guy over Durant. It was a harder conversation of this guy over Davis, but I had DeMontis Sabonis
Oh, so you didn't put AD on the second team?
I didn't put I didn't put AD on the second team.
Okay, and you didn't put KD either.
No KD.
No AD, no KD. Sabonis, yeah, I think he's gonna get left off.
I
put him on. I'll just be. He's on my third team. Like we'll talk about that in a second, but I'm pretty sure Bill Simmons, Ryan Russillo, who I know those two had votes. I know the only other people. Kendrick Perkins has a vote. Kevin O'Connor. Zach, does Zach Lowe even have one anymore?
No, I think Zach Lowe gave his up.
He gave his up, right, because of the money.
Yeah,
and that's something we could talk about that after. But yeah, I think it's tough. Like Sabonis was so good. I think he played the most minutes in the league this year.
Yeah, and then also at the same time, like he literally averaged a double. Like no,
he almost averaged a triple double.
Yeah, almost.
And he led the league in rebounds. And like if you look at that team,
no, even more, what am I talking about?
Him and Fox, like. Outside of them, like you saw, Keon Ellis had a great game. Barnes is one of the more inconsistent guys.
Yeah, he's old RJ Barrett.
Monk gets hurt. Herter gets hurt. Like that team is not that good.
Yeah, and
they're really outside of those two. Like when they're fully healthy, they're a solid squad. Yeah. Right now, bro, Sabonis and Fox are doing heavy lifting with that team.
100%, and also like that guy is in the MVP votes. Like you know what I mean? Like,
which also like that doesn't make sense.
It's not. Listen, I agree that I think Brunson is in. It should be there way above him, but at the same time, like he's in that conversation where you can't say that. Like I'm sorry, you can't say that about any guys on the Suns. Like you know what I mean? Like,
oh, you can't.
Like I don't know how you can try to say that. They've had better. Any of those three guys on the Suns, it's actually specifically the two we're talking about, have had better seasons than Sabonis. Now I know it's a little bit of a hot take, but I just think that Sabonis definitely had a better overall season for him, and it's him having a good season is not so much the reason why he's on the second team. It's really because it was between him and AD, and I think he just had a better impact season than AD had. For Lakers.
Yeah. It's tough. Like that the end of the second team and the third team for me, like as much as like my third team, like these guys, none of them were like, oh my god, these guys are amazing to me this year. But you could go so many different ways with these guys, and like it's really like there's about 20 guys who you could make an argument for getting on these teams.
Yeah, exactly.
On these teams, yeah. So it's just difficult. And we're back. So let's talk third team. Third team, to me, even when I was doing my honorable mentions, like I was like, there's a lot of ways you can go. But my third team All NBA is Jaylen Brown, Sabonis, LeBron, Booker, and Curry. Jaylen Brown, you can make an argument for some guys' individual seasons. I think it's another thing to me. It's like, when you're like that valuable to a team that's that dominant, like you should be rewarded.
Yeah, no, 100%. Which is why I think like Jaylen Brown definitely like you would have loved to see him on the second team, but I think you can't get him in that second team with Ant. I think Ant's a lock for the second team, and then whoever you would pick between Brunson and Giannis, or like in whoever that is has to be a lock as well too.
Yeah, because like and with these things, like you can make arguments for two different ways, right? For two different approaches. Like you could go, Jaylen Brown is lucky. He does not have to carry the weight that some of these guys hold because his team's so talented. But then you could also say, look, if he was on one of these teams and he was able to just take 25 shots a game, complete green light, didn't have to make any sacrifices for his game,
averaging 45 points a game,
30 a game. Yeah, you know, like there's so many different ways you can go about it, but to me, felt like he deserved it. No, we just talked about Sabonis. I thought he just deserved it.
Yeah.
LeBron, another, just when you look at his numbers, bro, like every year it's
nutty.
It just feels like he like just effortlessly averages 25, like 7 and 7 at this point.
Yeah, it's nuts.
Booker, I just thought to me, Booker's like a top 10 player. So it's like was he amazing this year? Yes. Was he the best? No. Was he as consistent? But he's Devin Booker. He has had a bunch of 50-point games. Like the Suns have looked decent.
Do you really think that Durant deserves the second, because you had Durant in your second team?
It's close for me. It's like, to me, like it was one of those situations where you could go either way, and I'm not gonna I'm not going to argue with it.
Yeah.
But I just didn't feel like putting 2 Suns on the second team made sense.
No, yeah, no, 100%.
Just like that's it. Like it's
like
like
I said, I put Booker on my second. So
Yeah,
I
had him on my second before, and then I was like, It's like you really can't go wrong with either one.
Yeah, exactly.
Like that's kind of
listen. Maybe, and now that you mentioned it, like Durant, there were those times where it was like Durant was just it, and it was like, but like there were a couple of those games where I was like, whoa. This is sad. Like Durant, it's literally just Kevin Durant right now. Like he looks like he's.
I feel like it was like just mainly during the beginning of the year. Like,
yeah, but it looked like it was like Mikal Bridges near the end of the year. Like that's how like defeated he looked because he had nothing else. Because everybody, the other two of them were hurt. So
God.
like I can see how you can kind of put those two.
Yeah, and then I had Curry, and I think we should talk about that Warriors dynasty came to a depressing end last night. I stayed up pretty late watching most of it. My dumbass bet on the Warriors and even doubled down like in the first half. Listen, I didn't lose more than like 25, 30 bucks.
That's
but,
nuts.
Bro, I just like I was watching the Kings and like we saw the Knicks come back from 21 down. Like every time I watched the Kings this year, I was like just not impressed. And I was like, Steph's been here. Like I trust Clay. Oh my, Klay Thompson. Like we'll talk about it after. But Jesus, that was bad.
That was terrible. Yeah.
And then I did honorable mentions. I only took like 3 or 4. I did Halliburton, Kyrie, Wemby. I wanted so badly to put on it, but it's hard to put a guy whose team is so bad.
Yeah.
And Benkera. I thought Benkera.
Yeah.
And then you could say Bam. You could say Jimmy Butler. You could say any of these.
But fuck those Heat guys.
Yeah. Fuck them.
But so, for my third team, Durant and AD get the first nod for me, and then I'm basically in agreement with your last 3, which were LeBron still doing what he does, Jaylen Brown. I would have liked to see him, like I said, get up to the second team because I think like with how good the Celtics are, like you need at least 2 guys, and I would hope on the first and second team to do it, but just wasn't his. There was other insane years, and then the last one is Curry, and the thing with Curry is that like he's still Curry. Like you know what I mean? As dead as you said that dynasty is, like he is still the ball just gravitates around him, and the offense just flows through him, and he just causes so much just like chaos and just game planning for him that it's like it's insane that we've been seeing it for as long as we have.
Yeah. Did you have any honorable mentions or?
No, I mean like the Halliburton thing you can always say, but like
it's another thing that's
he didn't
crazy.
end well at all.
Yeah. Well, he was. He must have been playing hurt or something, or he had so much aura as we were talking about last week in the first half.
Yeah, no.
Second half of the season, I mean, he had none.
Yes,
but
12 points.
Yeah,
12 performances.
Bro, let's talk about the Warriors thing because like the crazy thing to me last night is I was watching that game, and like it was clear the Kings did this against the Knicks too with Brunson.
Yeah.
But like they were just like, we're taking Curry out, we're gonna make all these other guys beat us. They were doubling him, forcing the ball out of his hands. They weren't really there every time. He was kind of having to force shots up at some point. But bro, like they just weren't playing Warriors basketball. They weren't moving the ball. It was just the only person that looked like he was trying was like, is it Podziemski? That dude is a dog. He was going for every rebound. He's kind of reminds me of like a younger Josh Hart type of thing. Like he's just an insane. He's a great rebounding guard.
Yeah, no, that's insane how good of a rebounding guard
exactly. Like he's always just attacking. He's always in the mix. Even if he's not getting it, he's just going for the ball. Moses Moody hit a bunch of shots. Kuminga had a nice stretch, but Draymond Green and Klay Thompson. I mean, Klay Thompson, that was just embarrassing.
Yeah. No. Yeah,
I still think that he'll find his way. I think he has to move on. I think they're gonna have to move on.
It's over. That like core is really done, and I think Klay has not done himself any favors because
that was so 0 for 10, bro. It was crazy.
But not even like he
just looked like he was driving to the hoop, and he was just getting like he had nothing.
But like to be honest with you, like Klay the past couple years, when you say Klay Thompson to me, like I think of just the snobby like
this
the four rings thing. I don't think about being the second Splash brother. I don't think about being like anything besides just some petty old guy who didn't want to give up his ring and happened to win a ring against the Celtics that one year and like just made it like even more unbearable for everybody else because pretending like he was still good. And Bill Simmons tweeted out yesterday. He said this is the weirdest like 6-year stretch any NBA team has ever gone through, from being like a dynasty to lottery pick to winning the finals to lottery pick to missing in the play-in or second round exit.
It's just crazy. Like I don't even know how they won that finals. To be honest, it's
a blur. Right?
It was just like Andrew Wiggins played the best basketball of his career. Like that. Like Steph
literally.
was Steph. Clay was fine. The rest of the team was kind of fine, and it was like Andrew Wiggins was like the best defender in the world for like a month.
Yeah, and where is he? And he can't do anything now.
No, it was a weird time, but also it was just one of those years where like it was up for grabs, and they went and they took it, and they ended up drawing a Celtics team that was probably more talented but just younger.
Yeah,
they had the experience and they were able to just win that. But
still,
I don't even Kerr. I don't know what he was doing last night. It was just everything. Yeah. Everything about that performance was bad, and it sucks. Like I don't know if you saw the clip of Clay like on his way out to like a 360. Yeah. Like, because that's got to be the last time he's in a Warriors uniform. Yeah. Unless like he retires. Like there's no way he's coming back. Even though they were saying we need him back, we want him back. They got to move on. They've got some good young guys. Steph's still Steph. I don't know. How long is Draymond's contract still? Because they did extend him, right?
I think he has like a decent like not totally.
I don't know if the Lakers would take that contract so him and his buddy LeBron could play together, but
his glorious king.
I would not want him, and I would start fresh with just build around Steph, continue with these young guys. Maybe sign a guy if you have any space. If you let Clay and get rid of Draymond, but
Draymond has still 2 more years and then a player option.
I could see him going to like the Lakers or something.
Yeah, only 24.
If LeBron stayed there.
Only 24 a year though.
It's a shit show. I've always hated the Warriors dynasty, and
really,
I hate. It's just like a thing for me. Like when a team gets really dominant, I just root for them to lose. I can't explain it. It's just like I used to like the Warriors. Like when they were like when I was in like first year of college and they lost to the Clippers in that series, I was rooting for them. I was like, oh, I love watching Steph Curry, all this stuff. Yeah. Then I think it's like Klay Thompson, really. Like something about him just irks me. He's always like doing stupid shit, and now he's a meme for doing this. It's just caught up to him.
Yeah, exactly. And I think
I always was rooting for LeBron and them against them. I don't know why.
I always enjoyed. I get where you're coming from because like the dynasties are like fun. The dynasties are fun to like root against, but like they're also like fun to have, and especially if they play fun.
I think it was just like for the Warriors, it was like they had that win right that year where they shouldn't have. They probably would lose if Kyrie and Kevin Love don't get hurt. They probably would lose to that Cavs team.
Yeah, I mean probably.
The next year they blow the 3-1 lead. Then they have the best record in. Oh, that's the year they have the best record in NBA history. They lose, and they bring in Kevin Durant. And at that point, it's just like there's no way you can root for them. With KD, it was like the easiest team. It's the easiest team in my lifetime to actively root against. It was that Warriors team.
Okay, you're not the biggest Jet fan in the world then, because the easiest team is the Tom Brady Patriot teams.
There's just something about those Warriors, man.
I mean,
they were just so easy to hate.
But they were also so fun. They were so fun to watch.
Them too.
Yes, but they were also so fun to watch.
Yes, they were great.
The casuals were just like, oh, we know the Warriors are going to win, and we're not going to bother watching the NBA Finals. And until the NBA Finals. But sure, like that's you could say that, but like at the same time, like that team like is pretty much single-handedly responsible for what modern basketball looks like. How like the evolution from out of the mid-range to the efficient 3-point shots.
Yeah,
is basically what the Warriors became.
We should do a Klay Thompson. Would you rather? I can't think of any players though.
Right now, Klay Thompson. Would you rather? No.
Well, bro, he's gonna be a free agent, right?
Yeah. Who?
Let's think. Klay Thompson. Is he a top 100 player?
No. No, top 100.
Who would you compare him to? I want to do this one. This video would probably do well. I can't think of anyone though.
Would you do
Who's overrated and old?
Klay Thompson or Campaign?
Oh, I got Cam Johnson.
Klay Thompson or Cam Johnson?
Taking Cam Johnson.
I'm not. You're not wrong.
Who else? Dante DiVincenzo.
Oh, Dante clears him.
Dante. Who else did you say?
Tyler Hero. I think Tyler Hero clears him definitely.
RJ.
You know what I'm going to say about RJ. Mr. Barrett.
RJ. I'm going to do RJ Barrett. I'm going to do one more. Who would be good? Obi Toppin. Imagine. Jalen Suggs? No.
Jalen Suggs, yeah, doesn't clear him yet. He will, though.
Franz, nah. Franz,
might.
Is that a good comparison, though?
No, it's a bad comparison.
Is RJ a good comparison?
RJ's decent
They're
enough.
2s and 3s, right?
Yeah.
I'm taking all these guys over him. Let me see. Who else?
Deuce McBride.
Grayson Allen?
Grayson Allen.
Grayson Allen.
Over Klay Thompson's kind of nuts. But also, like it's like sad because like I want to see I believe that that he will come back. Like I believe that like you don't just lose the shooting touch. It just has to be like a confidence thing. I actually don't understand what it is. Over 10 is insane. Like you were one of the best shooters of all time.
It's crazy.
Like him and Curry are two of the players who revolutionized the game of basketball.
100%.
More than anything in the past, more than anybody, more than some of the greatest Hall of Famers you can imagine. So more than like Tony Parker did on those Spurs teams, or even Tim Duncan on those Spurs teams. He literally revolutionized basketball, or helped.
All right. So Klay Thompson, would you rather? So first up is Cam Johnson. This is gonna get disrespectful, bro. It really is.
It's gonna be. It has to be Cam Johnson.
I would take Cam Johnson as well.
Even though, listen, like Cam really shit the bed this season. Like
he was bad, but I like Cam Johnson. I think he's good.
Yeah, you know what? I'm gonna go different. I'm taking Klay Thompson on this one.
You're making me regret my decision, but I guess I have to stand on it. All right, next up, Klay Thompson or Dante DiVincenzo?
Sorry, Dante.
It's Dante clears.
The big ragu.
Dude, he's been. What a good surprise. He's been insane.
Yeah, no. That's
also,
nuts.
just like off, like just as a defender, but also like as just like a slasher. Like he is.
Yeah.
This dude gets to the rim and has these crazy finishes, and he is. Mm-hmm. He has bounce.
Yeah,
bro. Some of these dunks that Dante DiVincenzo's got in his bag are crazy.
Y'all weren't there in the Nova days. As a St. John's fan, we had to watch him just do anything he wanted on a basketball court in
crazy.
college.
Klay Thompson or Tyler Hero?
Tyler Hero.
I would go Tyler Hero.
Yeah, I mean, Hero's like still kind of him. Like he hasn't proven himself yet, but like he's not. Like next season, I want him over Klay Thompson.
Yeah, exactly. And this is for next season. Klay Thompson or RJ Barrett?
RJ Barrett.
I would also go RJ. Poor Klay, man.
He's clearing Cam Johnson in my book.
Yeah, it's close. I probably.
But it's also probably because Cam Johnson's the net.
Yeah, Cam Johnson just also had a terrible year, bro.
You should have to you could have been really disrespectful, put like Jalen Johnson in there, or like.
Yeah, that is crazy. All these guys they're established. Klay Thompson or Grayson Allen?
Grayson Allen, because just he can prove that he can still shoot, and I don't think he'll go 0 for 10 in a game.
He probably won't go 0 for 10. I will go Klay Thompson though, and it's close for me. It's like insanely close.
Like next season, like potentially.
I think here's the thing. Like all these guys below, like I think they're young and up and coming. Like I still believe in Cam Johnson. Like I think,
sure.
He's also got good size. Like
is he also like older for? Like,
yeah,
his
but
draft
he's not
class?
Klay Thompson old.
Yeah, no, of course, but like he's not like. Cam Johnson, I think, is like people are sick of giving RJ like, oh, he's still a kid vibes, but like Cam Johnson, I think, like, got drafted at like 24
Cam
or 20,
Johnson.
22. I want to say he's like 20.
He's 28.
He's 28?
Yeah.
Yeah. No. Klay Thompson over Cam Johnson any day of the week now. That man
What's so crazy about that?
That man doesn't got upside. He's almost past his upside.
What do you mean? 28's like your prime.
Sure. Yeah, but like
He also still shot 39% from 3 this year, and this was a down year for him.
Yeah.
He's an elite shooter. He is.
He's a good shooter.
39% from 3 in the NBA is elite to me.
Like, what did Klay Thompson shoot?
I'm going to look it up right now. Klay's also 34.
Yeah, 6 years, sure.
6-year difference. Let's see. Klay Thompson. He had to be above 40, right? Regular season, 38.7.
Yeah.
Close enough.
But still, yeah, they're right about the same.
Yeah. They're about the same, and Klay averaged more points, but...
Next season, I'm taking Klay Thompson for what I have to pay him over what the Nets are paying Cam Johnson right now.
That's fair. That's fair. Oh, wow. Philly took the lead. That's awesome. Let's do the rest of the awards. You want to do MVP?
Yeah. You mean the JVP? Because it's the Jokic
Valuable Player Award.
Because that's all it is.
Let's do our
as he should have won last year, but Kendrick Perkins single-handedly cost him the MVP.
So my MVP, I don't think you can argue it. Jokic 1. I have SGA 2. Luka 3. Jalen Brunson 4. To me, those are close. I thought about Jalen Brunson 3. Just think Luka was a little bit better the whole year. I think Brunson came on towards the end. He wasn't as good in the beginning of the season. 5th, I would go Anthony Edwards. You could make the argument him and Tatum. To me, also 5th in the MVP voting. It's not that big of a deal. I didn't put crazy amount of thought into it.
Yeah.
But I just think Ant deserves some credit for what he did with that team, because
I think he deserves a lot of credit for the step up he came to.
100%.
We saw the signs last year.
Yeah.
In the playoffs, and I think we got the full course of it this year, and I'm excited to see how he looks in the playoffs this year, because I do think that he definitely stepped up the level compared to last year.
For sure. What about you?
Jokic, it's basically the same. The only thing is I'm going to put Tatum in at number 5.
Okay.
So it's going to go number 1 Jokic, number 2 is going to be SGA, number 3 Luka. Because like I said, I don't think there's another MVP race. This might be a hot take, but for the next 5 years, it's not going to be an MVP race. It's not going to have Luka in it.
Oh, 100%.
I think
it's probably just going to be like him and Wemby.
Yeah, no, exactly. It's there's next 5
maybe
years.
Maybe SGA, if he can shoot more consistently from 3, I could see his...
Yeah, the free throw version.
If he ends up averaging 34 a game or something. But Luka's just going to keep going up, so...
A hot take, I think SGA is going to go down more hard
as the team gets better. Oh, more Harden. Whoa.
So I think people I forget how many free throw attempts he's averaging per game, but it's that's why his numbers are the way they are. He gets to the line very well. Listen, he has a lot of control and everything, but I think his run, his MVP caliber season, his scoring output, and all his performance is going to go somewhat Harden in a Harden kind of way, not necessarily as almost
do you think
winning basketball.
As they start calling less fouls like they did post All-Star, you think it'll affect his numbers?
Oh, without a doubt. But also at the same time, I say that more so because of the guy you just said, Wemby. Because as crazy as this sounds, I think the West is going to go through San Antonio in the next 2 to 3 years.
Yeah,
and maybe not. This is definitely not. Probably not next year. But I think that sure. Can SGA do it? And if they win the finals this year and they surprise us, great. They get that done. But I think SGA goes down more kind of how James Harden went down. Obviously, I think he takes the game more seriously than Harden does. So I think that he has that to his credit. But yeah, no, the West is clipped for all those teams out there.
Yeah. It's going to be interesting. But also, it's going to come down to, can San Antonio do what they have miserably failed to do for the past few years, is actually get some good young guys, because Wemby didn't take a rocket scientist for that one.
Yeah, no,
anyone could get lucky with the number 1 pick and draft Wemby.
Yep.
But some of these other guys that they've picked,
like Josh Primo,
it has not worked out.
Yeah.
And even some of these guys, Devin Vassell, he's okay, doesn't move me at all.
Yeah, I mean,
Keldon Johnson, all right, doesn't move me in the slightest. They haven't done a great job with some of these picks.
No, I get it completely.
So you got Wemby, now let's see what you could do, because
but
he will, if they cannot figure out something, he's going to be one of those guys who will just ask for a trade. They've already been rumors that like he's like, if they're not winning in 2 to 3 years, he's just going to be like, get me out of here.
Yeah, I don't know.
Wemby to me doesn't seem like a guy who will like. He's going to be a guy, if he's in a situation that he doesn't feel is going to benefit him and they're going to win, he's just going to ask for a trade. Like he doesn't give a fuck.
I see what you're saying with that, but at the same time,
that's the way he strikes. I'm just saying there was already reports about it.
Yeah,
look, I think they'll figure it out. I think they'll make a move. They'll make a move this summer, and they'll find a way to get some guys in there.
Yeah, but at the same time, I think that's definitely like watching, like seeing how that like the West is going to shake out is going to be big. But get back to the MVP. Like I said, 1 Jokic, 2 SGA, 3 Luka, 4 Jalen Brunson, and then 5 I'm going to give Tatum. I think it's a hard time to, like I said, like we've said before, not give Tatum flowers for the Celtics season that they've had.
Yeah.
And listen, Edwards had a great season, but I still think that you have to at least give credit where credit's due to Tatum.
For sure. 6th man of the year. We'll just do one for these. I don't feel like we need to do like a 3 or whatever it is. 6th man of the year, I guess Naz Reid. It seems like he's kind of the front runner. Like
I believe,
especially he stepped up once Cat went down.
And then also, I think Malik Monk doesn't qualify anymore because of the injury, right?
I think he does, but I just don't think he's gonna. I think he does still qualify. But I don't know. I don't feel great about any of the answers, to be honest.
Yeah, but I think
like last year, Brogdon and Quickly, like to me, I thought was a really compelling race. Thought it was 2 guys that really deserved the award.
Yeah.
This year, don't get me wrong, both great seasons, but didn't really move me in the slightest.
Mm-hmm. Defensive player of the year?
What'd you say?
Was it defensive player of the year too?
Defensive player of the year, I'm going with Wemby.
Let's go there.
I think it's Wemby.
Yeah.
I think the numbers for Wemby are crazy. Plus the eye test. And look, you could say, Gobert, anchor of the best defense in basketball.
Yes.
That's a fair point, and I'm not saying it's bad, but when you break it down, if you ask guys who are playing, who are you more afraid of defensively? I got a good feeling they're going to say Wemby.
I 100% agree, but at the same time, it's just the numbers are not numbering.
But you can't, the numbers are it's the advanced numbers that aren't numbering. The stocks numbers aren't even close.
The what numbers?
Stocks, steals and blocks.
Oh, yes.
Wemby's got 374, and Embiid's got 200, and Jokic and Gobert has 211.
What number are you considering advanced? The defensive rating?
I guess. I don't know. I was listening to Bill Simmons, and they were talking about all these random numbers that I don't have access to.
But the defensive rating.
But to me, also the eye test is when you're watching Wemby, right? These dudes are coming into the paint and they are turning around. They're like, nope, never mind. Let's reset the offense.
Yes.
I don't think Gobert has that effect on people.
I still think Gobert is.
Don't get me wrong. He's a great defender.
He's the best defender on the best defensive team.
But I just think first of all, you got to shake things up sometimes. I just think Wemby's the best. I think Wemby's I think he's the best defender in the league.
Do you think the trade shades your perception at all?
The what?
Or do you think the trade, or just Rudy Gobert being the guy that nobody likes, shades your perception at all?
No trade changes it. I think the fact that I feel like he's not really proven himself in the playoffs is definitely making me a little bit more biased.
The last 5 minutes of the game.
Yeah,
I think it's also sketchy.
Some of the stuff with Gobert, don't get me wrong, he's going to be a Hall of Famer. He'll probably win the award this year. Probably 4-time Defensive Player of the Year.
Yeah,
guy's a great defender. But I don't know. I just think something about Wemby, to me, it's just something that when I watch, I'm like, okay, I just feel like this guy's the best defensive player.
You can tell 100%.
And it's I don't feel that way when I watch Gobert. And there's nothing against him. He's going to win the award, and that's fine.
Yeah,
but Bro, Wemby. It's crazy.
I would like to say Wemby too, but I can't in good faith say Wemby over like I said, the best defensive player in the league.
So to you, it's Gobert is your defensive player of the year. Rookie of the year. We could talk top three. I mean, to me, one of the best three rookies we've had, like in a class in a while. Wemby, Chet. If you want to consider Chet this class,
sure, and then
Brandon Miller. Like those three, they were all awesome. And
Brandon Miller was
most years they'd probably all win the award.
You're probably right.
Like
maybe Brandon Miller
in a regular year. Brandon Miller, he was really good. Maybe not, but he was great.
The Hornets were just terrible.
They're bad. He's awesome. Chet's awesome. I would love to give it to Chet because 1 seed, just so impressive. He was awesome this year, but Wemby is he's unbelievable. I don't know.
Who'd you put for your most improved?
Most improved to me was hard. I would have loved to put Dante DiVincenzo on the ballot. You saw that? How 9 seconds were the reason why he couldn't get on it?
Really?
So Dante played 81 out of 82 games, but because in the beginning of the season he was playing off the bench and wasn't getting full-time minutes, you need to hit the 20-minute mark in each game. And I guess one game that he really came close to it was about 9 seconds of differential. So he technically missed being able to be on these ballots by 9 seconds.
That's nuts.
They're going to have to lower it to 15 minutes or something.
That's crazy.
Yeah. It's random.
I mean, it's
shit luck. He wasn't going to win the award anyway.
Yeah.
To me, I think the most improved player is Kobe White. I think Tyrese Maxey will win it, but when you're talking about the jump, I don't have the numbers in front of me, but Kobe White's averages, his impact, everything about what he did.
He went from a player who might have been out of the league
to a legit guy who's, I don't know if was he extended?
I think he had an extension previously to
He's a guy that people like. He's a guy now. Like he went from a guy that people had questions of if he was even a rotation player.
He would have been in Israel next year.
Dude's a great player. He had an amazing season. To me, I think he was clearly the most improved. I also think Maxey was a good player last year. He was a borderline all-star. To me, like when you're in that range.
If Julian's saying that you are a top 10 player in the league, what was
in the first week of the season?
The first week of the season, you cannot be most improved by the end of the year.
I just think to me at some point it's like, did Maxey get a lot better? Yes. But he was already regarded as a future star.
Yes, they kind of
Kobe White. People were like, Kobe White, he was a bust. Yeah, and now it's like, Kobe White, he's a problem. Like to me, that's why he should be the most improved player.
I agree. I do think Kobe White should be it. Halliburton, you're right, probably does get it though.
You mean Tyrese?
No, Tyrese.
You said Halliburton.
No,
sorry, I mean Maxey.
Maxey. My bad.
Coach of the year, Mark Dag. Is it Dagnow?
Yeah, Mark Dagnow.
Dagnow.
You can do that.
I would put Tibbs. I would put Dagnow. I would put
Tibbs already won it, so I don't think you can really.
He won't, but I think he'll get third place. I know Russillo and Bill Simmons put him in their top 3.
Yeah, who else?
And Bill Simmons didn't have him in the top 3. He had Missoula, but he heard Russillo's pitch and he was like, you know what? Fuck it, I'm gonna put Tibbs in there.
Mosley from the Magic too. What he did with that team too. That was for big too. But I think Dagnow.
Didn't Dagnow win it last year though?
Did they? I don't think so.
I think he won it last year. I think he won it last year.
For some reason, I don't think he did.
It was. Wait.
2023 Coach of the Year.
Wait, they already come out with the awards? Oh, no. Winners.
Mike Brown.
Yeah. So we got Tibbs, Monty, Mike Brown. Yeah. So I think it's Mark Dagnow.
Yeah,
I think it's like you can make a case for Mosley, right?
Yeah, Mosley from the Magic. Even though I don't think he's that great of a coach, it's a weird award because like once you win it, like you really can't get back in it. If that makes sense.
Well, at least unless you're on like a new team or something, because Tibbs has won it twice.
Yeah, but like I don't think Tibbs could win it again, sure. But like Spoelstra, like we were watching this game and Spoelstra and Nick Nurse are going up against each other. I mean, Spoelstra is not going to be considered at all in the Coach of the Year ranking. But like, if you had, like I said, if you had to rank the best coaches, I think you're picking Spoelstra.
Yeah, probably. But as far as jobs done, well, the reason also is like Eric Spoelstra's team is like a playing team every year.
Yes.
And it's like it's a combination of a bunch of things, but it's like when you look at guys like Tibbs, like they just get the most out of players, and it's like every few years they just have one of the years where like, how are you the 2 seed?
Yeah.
Looking
like
at the Knicks now, how are they the 2 seed? I thought they were going to be potentially a playing team for a second.
Dude, yeah. Jericho Sims played big minutes for us this year.
It was crazy, and then all of a sudden he just gets all these guys to kind of just figure it out, step up, and do their thing.
Yeah.
But that wraps that up. I mean, let me reset the timer quick, and then let's just talk about matchups quick. And then we can wrap it up. Oh shit! Philly just took the lead.
Yeah. So we're doing matchups now?
Yeah. So I mean, we could start with that. We're gonna run through some of the matchups quickly. The Sixers just beat the Heat.
Let's go.
Close game, so it's going to be Knicks versus Sixers. So that's our area of expertise. We should probably talk about that.
Yeah. I love it.
Yeah, I definitely think. Look, this could be. I didn't want to see either of them, to be honest. I think they're both really good teams that are better than a 7 seed.
Yeah.
Think with Embiid's nagging injury, him coming back, he's been great, but he continuously seems to like look hobbled, and he almost left the game the other day like twice. To me, I just think that matchup makes more sense. There's something about the Heat that I just don't trust the Knicks with.
Yeah, no, I think it's like it's almost like we just played like I don't think down to them because they are a good team, but like they just muck it up every single time, and I can't get over just playing them and like consistently. Like it feels like even like a win over them is just gonna feel like we lose something in the series.
They're just always fucking injuring guys. Our guys are always getting injured.
Yeah.
But if you look at it, I think the Knicks, of a lot of teams, they are equipped to deal with Embiid. You can't stop him, but you can try to, contain him. And when the Knicks have 2 legit guys you could throw at him.
Yeah.
3 if you want to include Precious. I think Precious is just way too small.
Oh yeah, Precious is way too small.
But Hartenstein, defensive metrics at least, one of the best defenders in the league this year.
Yeah.
And then Mitch, and so you got those 2 guys who are going to be coming
and then
off.
We got a guy like we also got don't discount
OG.
No, Jericho. I mean, listen, like you.
I just don't see Jericho Sims getting that much playing. Yeah, I don't see him in the rotation at all, just because.
Not at the rotation at all. Like I don't see him as in like an actual playoff rotation, but like with foul trouble. Like if you told me that Mitch and Hartenstein either someone went down with injury, or there was some foul trouble.
We're talking injuries.
Yeah, no, God forbid. But like I don't hate the Isaiah Hartens. I mean the Jericho Sims thing too.
Yeah, and I think also you could throw OG at him. If you look back, there's been plenty of times that Embiid and OG have gotten into like little scuffles too.
Yeah,
they always go at it with each other.
Yeah, listen, OG's a badass.
Yeah, so I think that matchup's cool. I think we're gonna be rooting for the Knicks. I think it should be a good series. I think it goes 6 or 7, to be honest.
I think the only obviously this is the East playoffs, but I think the only bad series, which is gonna be the NBA TV series. It's actually low-key one of the ones I'm most looking forward to is Cleveland versus Orlando.
See, I definitely think that one's going to be the NBA TV one because it's just Cleveland and Orlando.
Yeah, no, it's
but I feel like it's going to be a good series.
Oh, hell yeah, it's going to be a good series.
I think I'm excited for that series. I think it's just 2 teams. If you listen to Zach Lowe, he's like, if the Cavs do not win this series, there are going to be major changes in the organization.
Oh, without a doubt. And I think at the same time, you're seeing Orlando with an opportunity to take that step up. Which,
exactly. So it's like a team with so much to lose, and then a team with really nothing to lose.
Yeah, nothing at all to lose. So I think that's going to be a fun series to watch, and just the dynamics on how so answering some questions about Mobley, answering some questions about even Garland, who just looked lost at times this year.
Yeah.
So I think that'll be big for this upcoming for that series, and that's the NBA TV series. And we're not even talking about Bucks Pacers. We're not even talking about Heat and insert either Hawks, Bulls, or Sixers or Heat at this point.
Yeah, I mean, I think the thing is that was so important about that game, and I think that's why that game was so intense. Was if I'm the Heat or I'm the Sixers, I'd much rather play the Knicks Because look, the Knicks are their team you want to see. Not really. They're gritty. They've got guys like Brunson. They're going to throw everything at you, and it's going to be exhausting.
Yeah, but it's also not the Celtics.
Exactly. If you're that 8 seed now and you're Miami, you could say, look, we beat them last year. This is not the Boston team from last year.
Oh, fuck no.
The Heat season in May probably just because they have no. I don't think they have a chance at beating Boston. I think Boston is going to outclass them. I think they probably wanted to play them because of what happened last year. If I'm the Celtics, I was rooting for the Sixers in that game because I want the Heat.
Yeah, no,
I want to play the Heat. I want the great Jimmy Butler. I want Bam Adebayo. I would want all the smoke with them. And I think that 100%. Series is going to be a great watch, but I do think the Celtics sweep them.
Agreed.
And I think they're going to be locked in because they want that.
I think that obviously that's part of it because you want the mental side of it, but I think like actually just like the only like, and this is what scares me about the Knicks matchup with the Sixers now is like Embiid could just go off
100%, and that's the thing.
We talked about it last pod, like. There are like 3 guys in this playoffs right now, and I mean 4 if we want to consider our guy Brunson, that like could go off for like I said like 30 average 40 points a game in a playoff series. And we said Zion. Listen, he can't get out of his own way with his injuries now.
He was so good last night.
He was even so good until then. Yeah. Luka, and then you also have Embiid, who's the other like kind of like sleeping giant there too.
Yeah, and you just had Embiid clearly hobbled. 38 minutes he played.
Yeah, I think
23, 15, and 5. He was 6 for 17 from the field. 3 turnovers, 3 fouls.
And that's because Bam Adebayo. Listen, Bam Adebayo would be a defensive player of the year, but he's not the defensive player of the year because he's a vertical like rim protector that would give Embiid issues. I mean, listen, we have a lot. In with what we have with Hartenstein and Mitch, I think we'll be fine on that front.
No, it should be a really good series. I mean, then you got Lakers Nuggets. We talked about this briefly. It's probably a gentleman's sweep.
Sure.
I just don't think the Lakers have outside of LeBron and AD. I do not think they have enough. I think there's too much inconsistency. Do they have guys like Rui or Austin Reeves who can have those games? D'Lo, but then they have games where guys like D'Lo and Rui just disappear.
Yeah, just are not even in not even doing anything.
Even when you talk about, we've seen what Jamal Murray does in the playoffs. Jokic is Jokic, but everyone on that Nuggets team, what makes them so good, just knows their role so well.
That's very true.
And they play. They're so the chemistry with Jokic since they've been playing together. Like even when the Knicks were playing, that we were watching. It's like, do you remember that one pass where Jokic kind of went like.
Yeah,
it's like Aaron Gordon just plays off of Jokic so well.
Yes.
Caldwell Pope is the perfect 3-and-D guy for them.
Yep.
Michael Porter is a heat check guy. Christian Brown, I'm sure he'll have his moments.
Yep.
I don't think the Lakers have just the depth. And I don't think they're consistent enough as a team to beat someone like the Nuggets in a 7-game series.
The only thing is that we also went through all NBA teams, and like we did have 2 guys. We didn't have 2 guys from the Nuggets in there. We had 2 guys on the Lakers on there.
For sure, but I think...
And at the end of the day, like, yes. Do I think Nuggets are going to win? Yes. Do I think the Nuggets are going to wipe the floor with the Lakers? Not so much. Because, like, at the end of the day, it's still AD. It's still LeBron. And it's still Los Angeles Lakers.
Yeah, for sure.
Do they want to be facing... Do the Lakers or the... not the Lakers. Do Nuggets want to be facing the Lakers? Sure. But I also think at the same time, out of like either playing OKC or playing either you play OKC or the Nuggets, I think the Lakers might pick the Nuggets, to be honest.
I don't think so. There was so much talk of people saying the Lakers should throw their first game to play the Thunder.
At the same time, like
if you're the Lakers, I think you have a better chance of beating the Thunder. I think that's just obvious at this point with Jokic. But if you're going to beat the Nuggets, now's the time to do it.
Yeah.
You get them right away. And then it's like, if the Lakers found a way to beat the Nuggets, then you're like, we just beat the defending champs. Mm-hmm. We're in a great position. We think we can beat every other team. Like, that's the one team, if I'm the Lakers, I'm like, this is the toughest team for us.
Yeah, no, you're 100%
if they can get by the Nuggets, they can win the title this year. They're not going to win the title, but like, you could convince yourself into like, let's go on this run.
Yeah.
if they beat the Nuggets.
The only thing I think is like you would avoiding playing the Nuggets and tanking so that they could play the Thunder. You'd still have to play the Nuggets at some point. Like you're not.
Exactly.
Like, you're
That's
not
what I'm saying. To me,
escaping.
I'm like, I'd rather play him right away.
Yes, that's kind of
That's
where
why I
that,
thought it didn't make sense.
Yeah.
It's the same thing that you could say with the Knicks. Like, people are like, oh, you should have tanked so you could have. All right, so we win a first round and then we play Boston and the season's most likely over.
Yeah,
it's like,
exactly.
No, like you want to play for the highest seed. You want home court. You want to avoid Boston in the bracket. And look, it's like, is it going to be easy? Is there a chance you get bounced by Philly or what we thought could have been Miami? Absolutely, but it's like you had to play him at some point. So it's like,
yeah, exactly.
At the end of the day, it's like you're playing for a title. Mm-hmm. You got to play what's best for your team and what's going to give you the best path
that are in
to
front
do
of you
it.
too. Yeah,
exactly. You're going to have to play these teams at some point.
Which is what I love how the Knicks have been. Like I just saw like Dante just was in a press conference saying we're not playing who we rather play versus who, and we're not doing that whole entire game. We're playing who we like. We're just playing the games out
for sure, and that's how some of these teams go. And Zach Lowe was saying, he was like, I hope the basketball gods reward the Knicks for going for it, and not being 100%. The Cavs and laying down and blowing the game against the fucking Hornets. Like,
yeah.
Then we go out west. We also have what? So OKC, we don't know who they're playing yet.
Yeah.
They're going to play either the Pelicans,
probably the Kings, honestly,
or the Kings. I think they win that series.
Yeah. Well, they said what's his name? Zion's already out.
Zion's out, so let's say they're playing the Kings.
Yeah.
I think it'll be an interesting series.
Yeah.
I think that the Kings will. Nah, maybe not. I don't know. The Kings, like I'm down on the Kings, but they proved me wrong last night. So
yeah, so we'll see. We can see. But who else?
I'm looking forward to the Suns series, Suns Timberwolves. I think that might be one of the best series of the first round.
That will be probably the best.
Because to me, that could even be like a West Conference Finals matchup. Like both those teams you could legitimately see them making a run to the West Finals.
Yeah.
Upsetting the Nuggets, like it's possible. Like those teams have a lot of talent. Is Karl Anthony Towns going to be back?
I think he
is. He back?
I think he was back for a game, at least a game.
It shows me. I'm not gonna lie. I haven't been watching that many Timberwolves games, but I'm excited for that series. So much is up in the air. I mean, if the Timberwolves win that series and the Suns are a first round exit, there is a lot of question marks, and we've talked about it. And the availability of Booker in the offseason, him, KD, like this offseason is gonna be really interesting because. Based on what happens, if the Bucks go out sad, there's a world where Giannis asks out.
Oh, 100%.
If the Lakers go out sad, there's a world where LeBron doesn't go back there.
Yeah, but I don't think
I'm just saying, like, and then with the whole Bronny and the draft thing, he could easily be on a different team next year.
Don't say the Knicks, though, right?
Then you go and you look at the Suns, and it's like you got two All-NBA guys that could just ask out if things go south.
Yeah. Wait, so... Just I want to see. When did Cat go out? God, because he just played.
He went out around a similar time.
Yeah, no, he just played 2 games.
He's back.
Yeah, two played on the 12th and the 14th. Yeah,
he's back. How do you do it?
30 minutes each game. Okay. 28, 29.
Cool.
But yeah, no, but like, I think that there are going to be some seismic changes. The one I am rooting for the most out of all of them is the Mavericks to lose to the Clippers in the first round.
And that's the last one we didn't talk about.
Yes.
I think the Mavs win that series.
Sure, but like
I would love for them to lose.
And then Luka just forces his way to New York City.
That's not happening, though. The Luka thing is, you've been harping on the Luka thing for so long.
That's all I wish for.
I just imagine he's like, I just want to play with my boy Brunson again. Want to run it back.
I just got butterflies thinking about that.
Imagine Luka. It's so funny because we're like, imagine a world where Luka and Brunson share the backcourt for the Knicks, and then it's like, oh, the Mavs had that like 2 years ago.
Yeah.
It's like it would be the best moment of Knicks fans' lives in the past 50 years since winning a championship.
Yes.
Getting Luka and Brunson on the same team. And it's like the Mavs had that. Could have had Jalen Brunson for $50 million over 4 years. And we're like, nah, we're good.
I still can't believe that.
Crazy. Just the funniest part about that was like when he was on All the Smoke when he told that story, right?
Yeah.
Talking about how, he went back to them twice, bro. Like, even if you don't think Jalen Brunson is who could be even half the player he is now, He's worth 4 years, $50 million.
Oh, with now, yeah.
It's crazy.
Especially like with the cap going where it is now, where it's going to be going, where like players could be making $80 million a year.
100%. And it's like the Mavs fans will come in and be like, well, we got Kyrie. He's even better. First of all, he's not. He's great. Don't get me wrong. They're on the same tier of greatness. But you have to pay Kyrie a hell of a lot more. You had to give up Dorian Finney-Smith, who was a good piece for them. You gave up Dinwiddie. I'm not sure what picks. Did they give up picks?
I don't think they gave up picks.
No picks? They may have given up like a protected picks or like a few like a future pick. I don't know all the details, but either way,
I think they had somebody else on that team. I forget. Oh, I wanted to say
like a big man.
No, I thought it might used to be Dennis Smith. Maybe I'm thinking.
Maybe.
No.
Well, Dennis Smith is is he on the Nets right now?
He's on the Nets too.
Yeah, he is. Well, I mean, it's still hard to talk about all this stuff because we don't even know all the matchups yet, and we'll react to it probably some point next week.
100%
for sure. But yeah, I mean, a good episode. I'm excited.
Big time.
We'll see how these playing games play out, and then the NBA playoffs they're here.
Yeah,
till June we got NBA basketball, NBA playoff basketball.
I'm so happy to hear people just be like, "Hey, like this is the basketball, like because this is the NBA basketball that like comes out like obviously the best of the best come out right now, and people are actually going to be happy to watch NBA basketball rather than be like, oh, the regular season doesn't matter."
It's exactly, and it's fun to see. Like, I could see 3 or 4 different teams winning this year. Like in the past, there was a few times with those Warriors and. We knew it was going to be Warriors Cavs, and to be honest, like it did take away some of that excitement because it was like, all right, like we got to wait till the finals.
But still, like there's not very little compares to crunch time in an NBA game.
And we just saw it with that game right there.
Yeah,
like that game was awesome.
How it's exciting. Like there's not like sorry to anybody who likes any other sport. Like obviously football's up there as well, but like there's something about crunch time in the NBA finals or an NBA playoff game or in a game 7 that just hits completely different. It hits so fucking different than any other moment.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Definitely.
Cool. All right, good episode.